figure this thing out. How do I get my stream to work? How do I get 1 million followers? How do I be the next big thing? I'm a little sunburned today because I was out selling Easter baskets. Did not make a ton of money. Normally I'm big money stacks, but at this point I was actually no money stacks. In fact, I invested heavily in these baskets that I got from my friend, and off of some information that she gave me, and in her good faith thought that I was going to be striking it rich doing these baskets. So she made some really nice Easter baskets, and I was going to go sell them for her at a different location in LA. But for whatever reason, maybe not the right location, maybe the fact that I didn't have the clientele that she had, and I wasn't at the right spot. See, she had been selling these baskets in the same place every year consistently, so people know where to find her. I don't have that. This is my first year trying to do it. I also had a very low amount of products, so if you're selling stuff, you gotta have a lot of stuff, a lot of choices. The only way you make any significant amount of money is if you bring out a ton of crap. So, think about it this way. If you're selling 10 things, right, and you sell half of them, you made 5 sales. If you're selling 20 things and you sold 30% of them, you made 6 sales or 7 sales. So if you bring out 20 things and you sold half of them, you made 10 sales. So it's better to bring out a bunch of stuff and take a bunch of stuff back with you than it is to not bring that much stuff out in the first place. That's one of the things I've learned over time, is that people like choices. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bunch of different kinds of things, because that can maybe distract people. They don't really know exactly what it is that they're looking for, but people have different needs. So usually what I like to do is I like to stick with one thing and have a bunch of different options of that thing. So if I'm going to sell hats that day, I bring a ton of different kinds of hats. If I'm selling, hats is my main business. But if I sell like sunglasses, hypothetically, right, instead of selling 10 different types of sunglasses, bringing out 10 units of each, I would bring out maybe 100 different units and maybe like 2 units of each. And that way you have a big store. Oh my gosh, my first viewer. Where's my chat guy? Sorry, viewer number 1, congratulations. I don't know. Oh, show chat. It doesn't show chat. Oh, maybe that's because nobody's chatting. But yeah, I was just talking about how I was selling stuff today and making some money, and why I got a little bit of sunburn. And the funny thing is, I had my sombrero on all day long. So I just kind of put this shirt on half-ass. But I'm going to put it on for real, before I show you what my super sweet product is. So this is one of the things that I invested very heavily in this year, after doing a bunch of cheap things, are my leather hats. This is a top hat. My cousin drew the logo for me, Dabney. That's my last name. And that little D, bow, and arrow is the brand. So I'm trying to turn this hat brand into a large, possibly multinational corporation at some point, so I can pass that amazing thing on my future progeny. Yeah, it's a pretty sweet hat. I don't just have top hats, I just have a top hat for me. I was going to wear the large, but I'm an XL, so if you want to get leather hats, I'll do a little tour of my storage unit. I'm going through. I got all my cool Hetty posters on the ceiling here. Cool people I met. Adam Sandler. Fucking Andy Samberg, I think. He signed that one. Pierce Brosnan. Lars Ulrich. Yeah. Adam holding my mixtape. Dana Carvey. Will Sasso. I worked with him one time. Jude Law. He's pretty cool. He had a Hollywood star. Oh, and William Dafoe. I met them both in the same day, and this is an amazing movie, Existenz, if you haven't seen it. But anyway, the original point I was making was one of the first things that I started selling. So, and how I graduated. So this is my bread and butter for festivals. It's a sparkly, light up cowboy hat. It's got a little plastic tab in there. Pull it out, and boom, lights up. Chicks love it. And it's got different modes. And, you know, the funny thing is that sparkly light up cowboy hats are a kind of unifying cultural phenomenon in that it represents America in a way, because diversity in music scenes, you know, whether you're at a country show or a rave or a pop music show or a rock and roll show, metal show. I haven't really brought any out at a reggae show, but I'm sure someone might actually want one. Anywhere you go, there is going to be at least 1, 2, 3, sometimes more chicks that want a sparkly black, pink, or white cowboy hat. There's never an occasion where there's never, okay, say if you're trying to get yourself some passive income, right? You're like, how can I make $20 per day, every day, just so I could, you know, try to make my rent? Well, I would say just carry a sparkly black, white, and pink cowboy hat with you everywhere you go. So, and sell them for $20 each. And take a little less if you have to, because, you know, you sell one, that's $20. Sell two, 40, 3, that's 60. If you sold 3 sparkly cowboy hats per day, every day, you'd be like making like $1,800, and that's not that hard to do. And so yeah, every concert, everywhere I go, I always got the sparkly light up cowboy hat. And so I started off with those because those are super cheap, like $3, $4, $5 maybe with the taxes. And eventually I sold a freaking ton of those to get slightly higher quality merch. I picked up some of these. These are my reggae hat. This is the one I wear. It's pretty heady. It's got some pins from Hawaii, from Maui, supporting local brands. Got that at the Iron Maiden show. It's a reggae hat. If I'm going to a reggae concert, I'll bring like 4 or 5 reggae hats, you know, just hanging out. Sell a couple. And yeah, so this is like, you know, $5 wholesale, screaming deal. It's a really high quality hat. Like, you can only get stuff like this high quality for that cheap in Los Angeles or like New York or something. Yeah, so I'm able to hook it up. And so yeah, I started off selling super cheap stuff, got to medium stuff, and now this is my high-end stuff. You know, just playing around with different price points, seeing what what sells and what is a lot of work. Because the thing that's really nice about the cheap sparkly light up cowboy hats is those things are so disposable. Like, it's $3. If I drop it, it gets dirty, batteries run out. Like, I don't care. Like, throw it in the trash, it gets rained on, does not matter. This, on the other hand, these cost me a good amount of money each unit. And I sell them for, I don't know, I haven't sold one yet, but I'm thinking the price point's probably around like 120, probably like $100. A leather top hat. That's actually a pretty fair price. I could probably raise it a little bit. But say it starts raining, oh, now there's water spot. Oh, this one's nice because it's got a pre-stressed look. But I was at Coachella, and it was hella dusty. There's dust all over this stuff. I don't have any of my other hats, but you could imagine if it has a super smooth, nice high-end finish, and you get a couple raindrops in there, or you leave it in the bag and the leather hat sweats. Yeah, hats sweat. I didn't know that until I spent close to $3,000 on a giant gang of hats. And so now I'm very heavily invested, and I'm learning over time, how good of a thing that is. Let's see some other stuff I got for sale. Flags. Flag man. Get the bag, get the flag. Number one race of people, my favorite, personally. It's not white people. They're actually kind of like mid-range. There's too many dumbasses in our people. But gotta say, Mexicans, my favorite. They believe in God. They buy stuff. They buy stuff from the little guy. They're hardworking. They love to drink and have fun. They're just, they don't get pissed if you wear a sombrero. They appreciate it. If you're speaking barely possible Spanish, they don't care. They're the least haters. And pretty honest for the most part. I can't say I've ever been screwed over by a Mexican person. But can't say that the same thing about all people. Yeah, Mexico flag. Anytime there's like Mexico soccer team, like big Mexico pride thing. I was just at Julio Alvarez this past weekend, and I didn't bring any Mexican flags, but I brought the sombrero out. Nobody bought it, but I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, oh, it's a Mexican band. Maybe there's a goofy guy in that crowd of 50,000 people that wants to wear a giant silly sombrero. I didn't know, but no, there was nobody that did that. But I might just fly my Mexico flag on my stand while I'm doing it, just because why not, right? Why not? It shows that I love Mexico, and yeah, you got to dress the part. If you're dressed up all hip hop and you're at a rock show, people ain't gonna mess with you. This is another one of my products. This was last year's investment, my first foray into trying to get my own custom stuff. My brand is originally Big Money Stacks. I'll show you a Big Money Stacks pin. This is the hat pin that I made a few years ago. Big Money Stacks, you can see that. Most of them have been sold, or a couple have been given away. Some have been traded, but this one is no longer in circulation. I think I have like 3 or 4 left, but yeah, this was a limited time pin, so those are only going to appreciate in value. I took Big Money Stacks, that was my hip hop name moniker, and I made Big Money hats. It's kind of silly. Yeah, Big Money Stacks with the Big Money hats. I had a bunch of Big Money Stacks patches that I have to figure out what to do with, because my plan was like, I'm going to sell patches for this non-existent music shows that I'm not doing. Like, you know what, fuck it. I'll sell some patches. Oh, excuse my language. I'm trying to make this a clean, Christ-centered, no foul language channel, so no cussing allowed. Please no cussing in the chat. My honorary first viewer, whoever you are. I wish I could figure out. I wish I could see who it was. Or maybe it's just, is it just me? It doesn't show. Oh no. He left. My one. No, oh wait, he's still here. Okay, well, maybe it's one of my friends from Instagram or real life. But anyway, I'm going to go back now to that. Oh wait, there we go. All right, it's back, I think. I wonder if I've had voice at all this whole time. I'm pretty sure the voice was on. Anyway. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Big money hats. Go to a lot of raves. So I was like, how do I get the thing I was talking about? Choices, right? You gotta have a bunch of different choices. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna get this one hat. How do I get a bunch of choice out of that? I got a bunch of different colors. So this one, it's got blinky mode. It's got slower blink. And it's got always on, which is pretty dang stylish. I've sold a decent amount of these at the right kind of show. But I'm thinking one of the things I'm going to have to do is customize them for different occasions. I was either going to Dabney brand them up or put some kind of thing on here. But right now, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But I just have them on hand. I have an orange thing, say like Denver Broncos come to town and it's a night game. Maybe I can put a Denver Bronco thing on here or something. I don't know. Haven't figured it out yet. People don't really buy orange anyway. This was one I gave to my friend on consignment, I think. Oh no, this is not that one. I think my friend wore this like one time. Nope, maybe once. It's pretty damn clean. But I'm not going to sell it. Let's see, what else? Buying stuff, selling stuff. Oh yeah. And show you guys this. So I've been peddling random goods on the street for over a year now, and about a year and a half. My first year was a lot of time spent figuring it out. A ton of time going to sucky events with no crowd or not the right merch, not knowing what I need to bring, not knowing how many different things. So a lot of time for not as much money as I'd like. Now this year, now that I've done a lot of the things, I know better how to work the graduation season. I have a graduation business. I'll tell you guys more about that as we get to know each other. And I did more concerts, kind of got more familiarized with human psychology and people's desires and their motivations. And so now this year, I don't have to go to as much of the crappy events that make me no money, and I can only do the good ones. But since I have not done every different event in the world, and I'm experimenting with different kinds of products and items, it's still a lot to learn. A lot of testing and figuring things out. But I know, there's a couple weekends this year that I know are gonna slap hard financially for me. And I have a new job. I drive the ambulance, so I can't necessarily work every single event. But next year, after I pass my probationary period, I can schedule myself and have my own schedule 100% to myself. Then I can, do my day job on the weekdays, hustle hard on the good weekends, because my fantasy was that I was going to be able to support myself exclusively off of hustling at different events. And you can barely scrape by and go from nothing to something. Like around this time last year, my previous RV got towed because I allowed some friends. I asked my friends to watch it, people I thought were my friends, when I went to go see the eclipse, and they didn't watch it at all. It got towed, got broken into, and they just did absolutely nothing to help me. So I had to spend every single penny that I had hustled up from the previous months to get it out of storage. So I had $40 to my name in April of last year. And now I'm in an RV I paid several $1,000s for. I have the other RV gone. I've invested heavily in a bunch of different products. I have thousands and thousands of dollars of money tied up in different merch items, which I know will sell at a later date. So like, for example, these orange hats, the light up hats. I thought, I'm going to sell like at least 100 of these this summer. You know, every rave, there's people are going to be stoked. They want a rave hat, right? The reality is it's more like 3 or 4, 5, maybe at a good event. And you got to bring them all out. You got to charge them. It's annoying. Some raves, I barely sell any of them. I bring all these hats out. I sell like 1 or 2. So that 100 units of volume, I think I have like 65 left. So I've definitely broken even on them with the retail price, but I'm now at 0. So a little thing I call myself is hat rich. Spend all my cash. I have a lot of merch to sell that will make me money in the future, to where, every time it's kind of nice, because like when you're starting off in this, you're like, oh my God, I worked all weekend just to buy more stuff. And then it's like that for like a couple weeks, couple months, depends on how hard you're going and what level of bills you have. You're just, all the money you're making, you're just buying more merch. You're like, all right, I know if I sold like 3 or 4 different things, I know I can come back next week with like 10 different things, and I can make more money this way. Now I can either like spend it, or I can save it, and then I can have like 20 different things, and I can get an even better price if I buy 100 units of them. So then you kind of just start like going buck wild, buying all this different stuff, experimenting and seeing what you like to sell and what you're good at selling, and the types of things that you like to go to, and what makes you happy, and what items are profitable. Like these leather cowboy or leather top hats. I have no idea where I'm going to sell this. I know I'm going to do Burning Man, because I'm planning for that. But like aside from that, I have no clue what type of music scene do people like leather top hats? Like, who wears a top hat? Like steampunk nerds, D&D people. They're not a very spendy crowd. There's no like concert gatherings where like, oh, gotta have this merch. I just bought it because I like it. I'm like, this is cool. I want one. And I know some other people will. And I'm like, screw it. I'm not doing as much street vending, hopefully in the future, of where I'm dragging a cart of some select choice items. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do more store vending, to where I'm paying for the vendor fee at festivals and events, and then bringing out a giant load of merch, a bunch of very expensive merch, so that I can get high volume, high ticket items sales, to where I can pay other people and still make a good profit and pay for the vendor slot. But to get to that level of that fish level, I'm not there yet. My first kind of more expensive mid-range product are these leather hats. And I have 10 different types, 10 units. each, 10 styles. If you look at that on like a 10 by 10 wall in a pop-up tent, if you're running a hat business, 10 hats, while it may sound like a lot, it takes up a super small space, like a 3 by 3 space on a table. So if you're doing a hat business, for example, you got to have like 100 different styles of hats and 10 units of each. So 1,000 hats. That's a lot of hats, which I don't have yet. And I would have loved to have gone super hardcore and been like, I am buying 1,000 leather hats. This is my business, right? But I didn't want to go that crazy, to where I buy these leather hats and like, say, God forbid, nobody wants to wear a leather hat in California. Or, I'm going to these country festivals and nobody's buying the leather hat. They're only buying the straw hat. And now I have a ton of leather hats that I have to maintain. I have to moisturize. Like, I didn't really know that I had to do all that with these leather hats. But, I decided I'm going to get into leather products as one of my niches and see where that goes. So, the only thing I kind of don't like about leather, which I'm finding out, is it has a delicacy. It's delicate. It can be damaged and scratched, and if it's scratched and messed up, it loses its value like very significantly, which is annoying because I'm used to these. You can fold it up, crumple it, toss it in the back of the car, get some dirt on it. You're like, whack it off with a cloth, maybe a damp cloth, and it's clean, good as new. Folds. It's fine. This thing, like, I've had it for like a couple days. And it's nice because it's distressed look, so it doesn't really stand out as much. Like, look at that tiny little scuff, right? If you have like a clean, pristine, like girly hat that doesn't have this rough look, chick's gonna see that and be like, I don't want to buy it, or I want a discount. And you're like, fuck, lady, like, come on. But I guess that's why leather goods cost so much money. So yeah. What else? Low down on the hoedown. So yeah, I'll show you some of my other products. Now, I showed you guys the Dabney brand hat. This is the Dabney hat pin. I just ordered my sample from my supplier. I forgot to tell them to get the secure pin backs on this one. This one just has regular pin back, but I will tell them to get secure pin backs because this is a high end. Shiny gold on shiny silver, in line with style. And so this is the original Dabney logo. Now this arrow moves, shoots a little arrow. Cool, right? It's like, I want a pin that has some movability and interactivity. But the thing I didn't like about it is this thing kind of wobbly. I'm like, this is not it. So months and months later, after a lot of back and forth email communication, I got my new sample. Look at that shiny mirror shine. And this one, super tight, crispy. Yeah. So this sample cost me a lot. Like, more than my retail price. But that's just part of the game of getting samples made before you invest in something. So I'm looking forward to buying a bunch of these just to establish my brand. This is going to be something I know that's going to tie up my money for a while. Like the Dabney or the Big Money Stacks hat pins. Like, I bought those like 3 years ago, and like, I wasn't like trying to hustle this pin, like buy my like run around with a pin board. I have a pin board, and my plan is to add some of these to my pin board, but it mostly is like conversational. I'd have like a couple of them with me. I'd trade them for stuff. Be like, oh yeah, this is my pin, you know. Be like, oh okay, cool, let me get that, you know. And so yeah, it 4 years, yeah, 3-4 years later, I still have like 5 of those pins. So this is not really so much a money-making investment for me, but it's just to get my name out there, get me some brand visibility. People see the pin and they're like, oh, what's that? You know, I've never seen that before. Oh, it's got an arrow? Who's that? Oh, that's fucking Dabney, bro. You gotta check him out. You know, just unique. You know, just trying to be cool. Want to be cool. And just getting out of always just peddling random stuff on the sidewalk. I feel like it's cool. You're making money, you're doing your thing, you're paying your bills. It's like a job, but you don't have a boss. You can do whatever you want while you're at it. But career-wise, like in the long run, like, what is it? I'm like, you know what? I want to have my name on every single thing that I sell. That's the eventual goal, is to just have my name and my brand get out there bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, so my future family, kids and all that can inherit something cool and have that brand recognition to our family name. Yeah. So working on getting the Dabney brand up. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what level of disclosure I'm going to be giving you guys on everything. Like, where do I get things, how much I pay for them, blah, blah, this and that, you know. Transparency's cool, but, you know, maybe I don't necessarily want to be transparent about everything. I'm not just going to give away all my business secrets. Not secrets, but knowledge, you know. I mean, I guess that's kind of the plan with this whole thing, is to grow my business and just have fun, because honestly, entrepreneurship and all that is pretty lonely. Like, you spend a lot of time by yourself, and you're there with the other vendors, you know, they're nearby, but it's like your network is pretty small. It's not like you have a team and a family of people that you see at work all the time. I mean, aside from your vendor friends and associates and competition. So those are that's like my work family. But yeah, I'll be having hours and hours on end where I'm just sitting there on the block by myself, not with anyone that I know or have any type of rapport with, but just strangers, just accosting strangers, trying to get them to buy my stuff, or maybe not necessarily aggressively doing that, because it works for certain things in certain time and place. Like, you don't have to constantly be like "Arr, arr, arr, arr," barking at everybody, trying to peddle your product, and you just wear yourself out talking for hours all day. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna be sitting in my chair, studying, doing some homework on my phone, studying some EMT stuff, watching stupid reels on Instagram. Like, I'm vegged out. I'm just, someone shows interest, they like linger by the thing. Oh, hey, what's up? You know, or they come up and like start touching stuff, then I'll get up and interact with them. But like, you know, especially with apparel, like, if they don't want an orange light up hat, you putting it in their face and being like, buy this hat is not going to make them buy it. Like, it's like they either like it or they don't. Like, it might be different if you're doing like food or hot chocolate. You're like, ooh, hot chocolate, like yummy, cinnamon. They like smell it. They're like, ooh, hot chocolate. That actually does sound kind of good, you know? But with clothing, it's like, it's a matter of taste. It's people's self-expression. It's more of an emotional decision than like food or drinks. So there's time and place for aggressively peddling it. Yeah, what else? Oh yeah, I was gonna show you guys my a cool pin I had. A couple other cool pins. Stuff I've traded for the Big Money Stacks pin. Recommend have your own pin. And have a couple of them. Because you can trade them for cool stuff. There's why do I always forget his name? The heck is his name? It's George, I know that. George Clinton. That's right, I went to George Clinton's Hollywood Star. He gave me this pin. I was harassing him. Not harassing, but waiting patiently after he got in his Sprinter. And he gave select few that were in the right spot a custom George Clinton pin. I don't know if these are just ones that he hands out or they probably sells it on the website or something. But the fact that he handed it to me was very cool. And in that moment, I had my own pin because I saw he was fiddling with pins. And so I had kept like 2 in my pocket in the wrapper. And he gave me the pin. I gave him Big Money Stacks pin in return. He was stoked. He was like, all right, like this kid came prepared. So, I haven't seen him in a while, but when I do eventually, if I do again, I'll be like, hey, George, remember you gave me that pin? Hollywood Boulevard at the Star? Like, that's a day he's not going to forget. He might remember and be like, oh, yeah, what's up, man? Cool. All right. Hey, can you hold up my Dabney brand this or something? I don't know. Whatever. Network is net worth. But I was just examining my pins and I noticed one of them is missing a pin back, so always got to keep a big satchel full of pin backs. This is funny. I have the inside out and backward shirt. I was planning on just making this a test thing, but I guess it's my first stream now. Super professional. But yeah, I just put the pin on there. The Hawaiian Sun, Ape. These guys, I found them online because I was trying to find someone that I could buy like leather bracelets and like goth studded belts and chokers and that kind of stuff. And I looked them up and found them. Went over to their spot, met the lady. She's super cool. I have her card somewhere. I think I have some in here. No. But yeah, super dope. I went to go try and sell them in Vegas for when we were young. And the cops shut me down super fast. Like, I didn't even have my table started to set up. I didn't know there's a street vending rule out there. You can't do it. I didn't know, but I was like, maybe they won't care. But they did care, and they shut me down. So I spent a lot of money on all this leather stuff for this festival, and there's very few places and times that you can sell leather bracelets and leather belts. It's like when we were young, like super giant metal festival. That's it. So it's been sitting in my storage unit all year long until the next major festival that I can sell those kind of products. But it's okay. I sold a couple of items at the show. Not enough to be at my break-even point yet, but I'm super belt and bracelet and choker and BDSM collar rich. So maybe it might take me like a couple years to sell those products, but it's money. It's definitely money. And I don't think that leather ages that quickly to where I'm going to have to moisturize it and do all that. Like, I've done some basic care things to keep it good. And yeah, I'll sell it at another festival. But yeah, the other, just a little pin tour. Some other stuff. I got this one at When We Were Young. I was buying some sports pins wholesale online, and I saw they had this one. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get one of those just for me. Jerry, 100 bill. Gotta cover this weed sticker up because I don't smoke weed because I'm a EMT. Yeah, some pins. Thinking out loud to my one viewer. My one viewer. My first of many. And I'll figure out how to make this more interesting. It's kind of just stream of consciousness right now. But it is incredibly valuable information if you are interested in entrepreneurship in a major metropolitan area. The one I'm in specifically is Los Angeles. And I'm hoping that by doing these videos, it just doesn't create just a freaking ton of competition for me to where like people just start showing up and selling the exact same thing at the places that I do it at. But that is entirely possible. So let's just say I hope not. Oh, the other things I had, I guess, are not. They're not there. Oh yeah, the people next door are like some type of Middle Eastern. They've been killing it on the drums. And I have real life friends and people. I've been like, I'm always posting on my Instagram. I'm doing this all year. Like, hey, who wants to come out and hang out with me and learn how to sell stuff, right? And like, I've had a couple people come out for like a day or two, like once, twice. Some people come a couple times, but no one has really stuck with it and excelled at it. Some people have made a decent amount, like a handful of times, but it's definitely not for everyone. There's risk. You might be tied up with products like for a while. Definitely, like, I was able to go straight into only vending because I have experience doing sales, and I had also been hustling different stuff since it's almost 2 years now, because I was doing like concessions outside of concerts because I didn't know. And then my buddy put me on to the merch game. He's like, bro, you're doing this $3, $5 stuff, and it's cool. Like, you can definitely make like good money, especially at a big concert doing drinks. But if you're doing alcohol, like, you got to be careful because that is not exactly legal, and you don't want to get in trouble. I just do soda, water, Gatorade because I'm a law-abiding citizen and I don't need to get people drunk and get myself in trouble. But yeah, and there's a ton of people doing it everywhere you go, like kids under 21 selling alcohol all over the place, and like little ass kids like helping their parents with it everywhere. Like, it's kind of just one of those things, like, the city just doesn't care. They turn a blind eye to it. They're like, whatever, but that's at your own risk. I wouldn't recommend doing anything that would get you in trouble. Yeah, so you can go out on a hot day with a bunch of water. If the crowd's big enough and you have ice cold water, that's all you sell. And just go back and forth with the water. Soda, water, Gatorade. Right? And then you can just do that enough to get you some money to get some hats or whatever it is you want. Sunglasses, right? And then you start running around selling sunglasses. But that is a slow thing. It's like, what are you going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? If you're in a town where there's a lot going on, there's something Friday and Saturday, maybe Sunday. If you're in a smaller city, it's like maybe one day of the week is hustle night. So you got to have something to do with yourself on the other times. You can make it a full-time job, but you got to have money to make it a full-time job, because you need You need to be like making things more. You're like manufacturing, making things for other people. And you need machines that can do that kind of stuff. And those machines are expensive. I think one of the next things I'm going to invest in is a sewing machine, so I can sew patches on different things. Like, hey, I want to add this cool alien patch to the hat, make it easier to sell. More cool people are like, oh, it's got an alien on it. Like, that's actually pretty heady. I want to buy it now. Versus this plain orange hat. Like, if they're going for like Mr. Plain Orange Man look or something, like, it might work, but absolutely nothing on it. Like, I don't know. They move slow. Yeah, you gotta come with some money, and the more money you make, you can start having more freedom to do different things. Right now, I'm pretty blessed because at first I just had like a couple boxes of things in my little RV, and then eventually I got this is just a fucking bot. I've been talking to a bot for 45 minutes. That's cool. Whatever. I'm gonna post it on YouTube. Stream of consciousness of business, I guess. And yeah. It's funny. No wonder there was no response. Well, might as well hit the vape at this point. I was just gonna go to bed early and relax, but then they started having the Middle Eastern jam sesh, so I can't really sleep now. Don't really want to play my music because it's gonna be loud, and like, honestly, the RV life is cool, but I'm like right in front of these people's house, and I'm like not trying to be annoying, and I'm so fried. I got all this stuff for my job. I got to go to a meeting, more training, blah blah blah. You know. Yeah, I guess this is just kind of a primer on what I'm going to be doing with this channel, what I'm going to show you guys, and just do some general entertainment. And, you know, maybe you guys can buy some stuff from me and sell it in your own place. I think that is one of my eventual goals, is to start supplying things on a wholesale level to people, to where, you know, if you have a hustler's ambition and you want to get stuff, I can ship it to you, or you can just, you know, get it yourself. But if you don't necessarily want like 100 or more of something, right, you have a smaller budget, you can start off with like 25 or something and send that to you. But eventually I would like to just, one thing that would be cool would be to just have a store, but I haven't crunched the numbers yet on like the cost of rent and like my time having to be there on the weekdays, or what if I'm doing a festival, then I have to close the store on Thursday and Friday or whatever to travel down there to do it. Is it worth it? Then I gotta hire someone. Can I hire someone to sell these products? I gotta have so much products in a warehouse to sell them in store. Because, like, say, what if you're selling these hats, right? This orange hat, for example, right? And I have like 10 of them on hand because I maybe sell like 1 or 2 a month retail. And then some guy comes in, he's like, oh, I love this. My group needs like 50 of these. I'd be like, 3 weeks, you know, like, well, yeah, 3 weeks. I mean, for something like this, that's not too bad. But if they want like 10, 12, 15, 20 of them, you know, you want to be able to just, oh yeah, I got that. I'll have it for you tomorrow. And just go to your warehouse, grab it. That's the blessing that I have now with my storage unit, which I did not have at first. When I was first doing this, I had to go downtown a lot to buy more stuff because I didn't have anywhere to store it. Now, usually, I go downtown, I fill up my car completely with merch. I only go downtown maybe a couple times in a month, maybe 2 or 3 times, and I'll stock up for the next couple events. I'll stock up like 2-3 weeks in advance, preferably at least 2 weeks in advance, and then I'll just come down for like little things here and there. I haven't done a day where I just walk around and look for new suppliers of things. I should do that, but I have some stuff that works pretty good, but I do want to try new things. But I've also found that just buying direct from China cuts a lot of costs down on certain things. And now that I know what to get, it's nice. You go downtown, you get just like 10, 20 of something, play with it a little bit, see if it's worth it, and then if it's a good thing, then you can, source them yourself. But what would be cool is if I just had, a shop, but I don't know, the numbers. Anyway, what I have now is where a lot of people are at, is where I have a big storage unit full of cool stuff, to where I look at, like, what's the show? Oh, country show. Cool. I already have, 100 cowboy hats in my unit. I know where they're at. I know what I have. Oh, cool, a rave's coming up. I just go there and grab the rave stuff. I don't gotta look for it and find it and buy it and figure out the price. Like, it's all ready to go. And time is money, and I'm making a little bit more per day, but I'm also spending a lot less time figuring out how to do it. Yeah, yeah, it's, warehouse, merch, more value, higher stuff, wear and tear on things, yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to try and get this up to at least an hour of dialogue for you guys. Can't sell vapes. California law. A lot of people do it anyway, but there are... it's not the ATF, it's the ABC alcohol. No. It might be the ATF, actually. They have agents that run around looking for people selling vapes without checking IDs is the big no-no. But you're not allowed to sell any type of tobacco product, not in a stationary location with a permit. So, George Floyd selling loose cigarettes, selling vapes at the festival, that's not allowed. So usually the people that are doing vapes, they're doing shrooms and weed and vapes, and they're keeping it not like crack rocks on the table, but they got to be farther away. I'd imagine the margins are pretty damn high, and the products don't really expire that quickly. Probably have a really long shelf life, and the margins are great because it's tobacco. Anything tobacco is going to be good. I think cigarettes go bad, but yeah. Technically, every time someone says, "Hey, can I buy a cigarette off you?" you're committing a crime by selling it to them. So I just give cigarettes away if I have any. I don't know, it's just one of my things. Like, I know I could sell cigarettes, but like someone's, "Hey, can I buy a cigarette?" It's kind of more like a formality. Like, some people will take the dollar, but I like just being like, "No, you can have one." Like, it's a cigarette, bro. Like, yes, you can bum a smoke. But you don't want to be like, "Hey, man, can I bum a smoke?" Like, I get it. Especially if you're out there making money, it's like, screw you. Like, you gotta be, let me buy a smoke. People see them selling stuff, they ask to buy it, but I give it to them. It's like I'll have, sometimes I bring the cooler out, and like, if I'm selling a bunch of stuff, I'll be like, "Hey, if you guys take soda, water, Red Bull, just take some stuff. You can have a drink," or whatever. Because I have a little cooler for myself, and if people are spending a lot of money, I'll give them a drink. Like, give them a bottle of water. "Oh, thanks, buddy." They remember you. It's a big city, but it's not that big, and people remember you and your reputation. They're like, "Oh, this guy hooked me up. Like, he gave me a good price. He was cool. He gave me like a Red Bull and a water for my girlfriend. Like, let's go see what he's got. I see the same people that have bought stuff from me before all the time, and they're like, oh, what's up, man? I remember them. They remember me. It's cool. Yeah, just having little freebies. I think that's what I'm going to do with the pins. Is they're not going to be completely free because they do cost money and they're cool, but they're going to be cheap. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, it's a $20 pin, bro. Like, nah, it's cool. It is a cool pin. I could sell it for $20, but I just want to get my brand logo out there. I want to get my name out there, and it's like, it's a sweetener. It's like, oh, get like 2 hats, get a free pin. Oh, okay. 10 pins worth $20, man. It's a free hat, right? I just made another sale. You can bookkeep if you want. I know I should. I kind of sort of did, but I just kind of look at it. It's like, oh, magic money. Like, did I make money today? Was it a good day? Did I sell a lot? Yeah, I sold pretty good. I'm like, yeah, it's a good day. Oh, maybe today I'm hat rich. Like, maybe like the first 3 days of a 3-day festival, like, spend a G on different products. Maybe the first day I'm still in the red, the second day I'm in the green, and then the third day is all profit. Or maybe I go big and I buy a bunch of stuff, and I'm just hat rich for that weekend. Like, I just made a bunch of money, and I just made a bunch of product, and then like the next weekend I'll just be like, whoa, all this cash, like, heck yeah. But I never really sweat it, because nice thing about merch is it never goes bad, and you'll always sell it someday, as long as you can pay for storage, which isn't that expensive. For what it is, you can sell it the next year or the year after. I've only been in this business with the merch for a year now, so I don't have anything older than a year, but like the leather hats are probably gonna take a few years to sell all 100 of them. But that's okay. It's like each little product just adds a little to the income, and it's a more expensive thing. But now I have 10 new styles and a higher end thing I can add to the table. Oh yeah, different price points, right? Say, you see me at the table. Imagine they don't have any pins. You got this one, you got this one, you got this one, and then you got the leather hat for sale, right? Okay, if you're out there and you only got these, you're like $20. You're like, man, how about 15? You're like, I guess, sure, $15. Say you have this and this and this. You're like, oh yeah, 20, 25, and 40. Right? They're gonna be like, oh, well, they're not gonna try and haggle you down as much for the $20 thing or the $40 thing. You're like, oh, well, I only got $30. Well, buy the $30. I have a $30 product. When you have different price ranges, people respect your prices a little bit more. That's why I added the high end, the higher, like 100. Because you don't really sell a whole lot of $100 things on the street, because generally people aren't bringing that high end stuff, and they don't know the value. They don't perceive the value quite as much, because you're on the street. They kind of are looking for a bargain with that, so you got to cut the price a little bit. Like, I could sell the exact same thing outside for cheaper than it would be inside, because I have to pay for the vendor spot. People perceive it as more valuable, because it costs money, and like, it's in there, it's well lit, there's like a hot chick selling it or something, the things that cost extra for the retail experience. So yeah, but having different price points, 20 up to 100, is kind of where I'm going up with my hat business now. At first it was like 20 to 50, now I have 20 to 100. And I think that's the best way to go. And it's just knowing what you sell more of and what to bring more of. So I brought a bunch of $100 things that didn't sell that much because it wasn't really the right crowd, right place. Sure, it was cowboy hats. I sold like 1 unit, I think, and I spent a lot of time bringing the stuff back and forth. But it was my first time selling it, and it wasn't really the event for that. The event is more for like Western American style cowboy hats for like white people, country. That's the style of the product. But I was at a Mexican band, and they like cowboy hats, and the chick liked the hat, and I was like, all right, hell yeah. So I sold one. Cool. Probably offset the cost of some of the wear and tear and destruction I did while learning how to care for these kind of hats. But it's all good. My higher end stuff is mostly more for long term, like when I'm actually in a festival. I want to have a bunch of different like expensive things and be setting up a table in the festival and hiring staff at some point to work it. I'm going to start off with cheap, smaller festivals, low vendor slot fee. Probably just grinding it out in the festival with, I think when you pay for the vendor fee, they give you a certain number of tickets if they do, or they just give you your one. I think it's like 2 tickets if you pay for the vendor fee. It just depends on the festival. But then I'd have like, all right, hey, work for me for this festival, X amount of hours, you get a free ticket. And then I can actually go and enjoy the festival a little bit. Because in this, yes, I get to hear the music from the outside. I get to go to the festival, but I'm not actually in the festival at all enjoying it. Like last year, I actually attended like a small handful of concerts, and I was outside a ton of festivals. I didn't go into them because I'm out there selling stuff, and then I have to have my thing set up, and I'm selling stuff on the way out. So you're not going to enjoy. You're there at the scene. You're almost there, but what I'm trying to get to is to where I'm in the festival, and like I work the festival mostly, right? I'm mostly there selling my stuff, and then I get a couple hours off when I have my relief person working for me or my staff or whatever, and I can go run around and enjoy the festival or see the artists that I want to see, and then predominantly work it. And then eventually, once I really got it dialed in, then I'm just paying the fee. If I got someone that's super good staff, I'm paying them a good amount of money to set up, do everything, sell everything, and then all I'm doing is I'm just paying for fees and then paying people, and I don't even... I just have to go to the festival and I check in at the thing a couple times, but other people are doing all the work. But you gotta have money, and because staffing is expensive, and you gotta make sure that you have a rock solid business by sweating it out and learning the ropes yourself. Like, for example, I did the Easter baskets today. I didn't sell a single Easter basket, right? Imagine if I told someone, hey, I'm going to pay you $20 an hour to help me sell these baskets. Not only did I not sell anything, I also spent all this money paying someone to sit around and do nothing. So it's like, I got to make sure that I've been doing something consistently enough to where I'm like, okay, now I actually need help, and I know it's going to work. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough topics. That's enough thinking out loud. It's kind of cool just to decompress and share some knowledge with you guys. And to my spammer robot viewer, oh my god, my second viewer. I wonder if this is a real person. Maybe. I hope this information is useful for you guys. Check me out on my channel on YouTube, Internet Jacks, just like on here. I guess I'm gonna cross post this, and yeah, see you guys next time. Oh, Instagram too.